Hello everybody. I'm doing a live video for some whole grain banana bread, and I will be there in just a moment. I'm trying to enable it. See if I can see. There we go. Let's do that. All right, here we go. Okay, whole grain banana bread tonight. No, this is not what we're having for dinner, but I do have a ton of ripe bananas in the fridge. And so I'm pretty excited about utilizing these. Now, the most important piece of this puzzle is going to be making sure that your bananas are super ripe. Because we want to get really, really sweet flavor from the bananas. So we need about 2 cups of banana. So I've got a bunch of bananas here that I'm going to use. I have some eggs, some vegetable oil, which you can use canola or vegetable is fine. I have some cinnamon, some vanilla extract, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and 2 types of flour in this. We're using King Arthur white flour, all-purpose, and then I'm using King Arthur white whole wheat flour to give a little bit of that whole grain flavor. The little bit of whole wheat that's cut into the white flour is going to give it a little bit more structure, so it's going to be really, really nice. So we're going to go through this quickly. I have an oven preheated at 325 degrees, and I will post this recipe in the comment section. And then I will also, I know today I sent out that I started a YouTube channel with all my videos, and so please join up on that YouTube channel and check out all those videos if you're not able to watch them now. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take care of our bananas. And the nice thing about bananas like this is when they're ripe like this, typically what my wife does is she puts them in the fridge, especially if she notices we're getting low or they're starting to brown a little bit before we get to them. She'll put them in the fridge, and that kind of delays the process a little bit. And these are really nice. You can see here, really, really good color. You want that brown. That's good. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be 4 bananas. 4 banana, 5 banana. And then I just have a fork, and all I'm going to do is just mash it, just like that. The nice thing is if they're ripe enough, they're going to be really easy to mash. And I want to mash these into like kind of a smooth paste, almost. And there's lots of different banana bread recipes out there, but I always try to look for one that's pretty simple, and that's basically like 2 bowls. 1 for dry, 1 to mash your bananas, and then add your wet and finish. Super easy. Everybody see that? That's pretty simple right there. Just take that fork, mash those bananas. And it's funny, kind of growing up, I hate banana bread growing up, but now I'm like, how could I ever hate banana bread? I love it. It is so sweet, and it's got such a good flavor to it. When it's baking, it just fills the whole house. Okay, that looks good. So we've got that. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And the important thing when we're measuring wet is we always want to use a liquid measuring cup. Liquid measure, dry measure, 1/2 cup. We're going to put that right there with our banana. Beautiful. And then we do need some brown sugar. So before I do that, I'm going to do some eggs. I got 2 eggs here, and I know those of you that know me are probably going, well, you can't eat this. Well, no, I can't, but you know what? The eggs are so important in this. I've done this recipe before where I've just used applesauce as a substitute, and it still comes out okay. It's just really dense. We're going to do some vanilla extract. Little vanilla extract. And remember, this I like to do a nice little splash. Calls for a teaspoon, but I like to do a nice splash. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk this together. Get that mixed up really, really nice. Kind of break those yolks apart. All right, looking good. Break those yolks. I have a little bit of skin left from the banana there. Really nice. Let me show you what that looks like. It's really good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our dry flours here. This is our cup of white all-purpose, and it's got our cup of white whole wheat flour as well. All right. We're going to do a teaspoon of baking soda and a half teaspoon of baking powder. Now the important thing is teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of baking powder. These are going to be our chemical leaveners. These are what's going to activate our bread to, this is kind of called a quick loaf. This is what's going to activate our quick loaf to be able to rise a little bit. Baking soda, baking powder are considered chemical leaveners, whereas yeast is more of a natural leavener. Okay, got that. We need some cinnamon, which I usually do a nice little dash of cinnamon. Calls for a teaspoon. And right now with banana bread, you can always put nuts. Walnuts are always great with bananas. And then some salt. And it's calling for about 3/4 a teaspoon of salt. And I don't want to go crazy on the salt because I really want to be able to taste the bananas. But the salt are going to help kind of enhance the banana flavor. And we're just going to mix that up. All right, we've got vegetable oil, we've got our eggs, we've got our mashed banana, and then you could put some walnuts in there if you wanted, which I'm not going to. And then what I'm going to use is, I have a loaf pan that I'm going to use, and the nice thing about a loaf pan is I'm able to bake that really nice shape that then I can cut it into nice little squares that I can put into Ziploc baggies. And then I can freeze. So, I can't eat this, so I got to rely on my wife and son to be able to eat it. So, for this loaf, I'm going to cut it up. Half will stay in the fridge, and the other half I might freeze, so that way I can have it, pull it back out. So, really nice. This one's a little bit thicker, which is good. This is kind of how I like. Just like that. All right, perfect. So what you're going to do is I have an oven on convection. So let's real quickly talk about, let me grab my thing real fast here. Okay, we're good. So if you have a convection style oven, there's a 25-degree difference between convection and regular. So the recipe calls for 350 degrees, so I'm doing convection at 325. And the convection style oven is going to provide some circulation of air. That's going to help caramelize our loaf and actually give it a little more color. So if you decide to use convection, you can. Just remember, there is that 25-degree difference. So you have to be very careful. You don't just put it at 350 because it will start to burn a little bit if you do it on the same time. Recipe says in about 25 to 30 minutes it's going to be done. Just like a cake, we're going to use a toothpick to insert into the middle of this whole grain banana bread to make sure that it is comes out clean, okay? The one thing that we have to be patient about is once this comes out of the oven and it's good to go, you've inserted a toothpick, it comes out clean, you have to invert it onto a cooling rack and you have to let it sit. It's good to have it warm, but you want to let that bread kind of sit and allow it time to cool, because when you try to cut into it, just like with that chocolate cherry bread, you kind of push all that heat. You push it, you end up squishing the loaf. So super easy, super quick. Give me about 5 to 10 minutes and I'll post the recipe online for you so you guys can grab it and go ahead and make some tonight if you have all the ingredients. And then I'll post a couple pictures of the finished product in about a half hour when it comes out of the oven. Again, thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I have a link that I put on Facebook today, but you can definitely go on my profile and check that link out and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.